The Starlight Voyage, Chapter 1. The Dreamer from Cedar Hollow, Alara. Quinn had always looked up. Ever since she was a little girl growing up in the quiet town of Cedar Hollow, her eyes were drawn to the stars. While other kids played hide-and-seek, in the cornfields, Alara built telescopes out of toilet paper rolls and dreamed of sailing through the cosmos. Her bedroom ceiling was a swirling mess of glow-in-the-dark planets and constellations. Her favorite book? 1001 Facts About Space. Her favorite food? Star-shaped mac and cheese. Her parents, who ran a cozy bookstore on Main Street, encouraged her curiosity. They even renamed the science fiction section Alara's Launchpad. Years passed, but Alara never stopped looking up. By the time she was 18, she had already built her own weather balloon and launched it into the stratosphere, capturing photos of Earth's curve. When she won the National Young Inventors Award, she gave a speech about humanity's inevitable leap into the stars. That leap, for Alara, came sooner than anyone expected. Chapter 2. Cadet Quinn. At 25, Alara stood in the gleaming halls of the International Space Academy. She was officially Cadet Quinn now, wearing a navy blue flight suit and boots that echoed with every step across the training bays. Her roommate, Miko Tanaka, was a robotics prodigy from Tokyo with a knack for turning anything into a drone. Together, they aced their zero-gravity maneuvers and solar physics exams, and they shared a goal: the stars. 2 years later, Alara stood aboard Odyssey, a research vessel bound for Jupiter's moon Europa. The mission: explore possible signs of life beneath its icy surface. The catch? The crew wouldn't return for nearly 2 years. "I'm ready," Alara whispered as she fastened her harness. "Let's make history." Chapter 3. The Launch Day. Families gathered behind glass as the crew waved goodbye. Alara's parents held up a sign that read, "We love you to the moon and beyond." Alara blew them a kiss. The countdown began. 4. 3. She tightened her grip on the chair arms. 1. Lift off. Odyssey roared into the sky, shaking the earth beneath it. The force pushed Alara back into her seat, but her eyes sparkled with tears and wonder. As the blue of the earth faded into the black of space, she smiled. "I'm really here," she whispered. "I'm really out here." Chapter 4. Aboard the Odyssey. The ship was a marvel of technology. Solar sails, AI navigation, a hydroponic garden that grew tomatoes in 0G, and a virtual library with every book ever written. The crew was small, 6 people, each a master. Of their field, Alara's role was astrogeologist. Her job was to study Europa's crust and scan for any chemical signatures that hinted at life. She spent hours monitoring seismic data and analyzing core samples in the lab. But the best moments were the quiet ones, floating in the observation deck, watching Jupiter swirl like a giant marble outside. "We're so small," she often thought, "but we carry so much hope." Chapter 5. Trouble on Europa. 6 months into the mission, the crew made orbit around Europa. Using remote-controlled probes, they drilled through the ice and sent submersibles into the dark ocean beneath. Alara was analyzing a sample when alarms rang out. "Pressure spike in probe 2, Miko said over comms. "Something's moving down. There." The crew huddled around the monitor as the camera flickered. Just before it went dark, a shadow passed across the screen. Long, serpentine, and unmistakably alive. "There's life down there," Alara whispered, her voice trembling. Chapter 6. The signal. The ship's systems picked up a strange signal. Not natural, not random. Rhythmic. Patterned. "Could be a message," said Commander Holt. "Or a warning." Alara felt a thrill. It could be the most important discovery in human history. She volunteered to lead a team to the ice surface. Suited up and tethered, she stepped onto Europa. Beneath her boots, the ice crackled. The signal grew stronger. They followed it to a cavern glowing with blue light. At its center, a crystal formation pulsing with energy. "It's a beacon," Alara said. "Someone, or something, left it here." Chapter 7. The Return. The crew didn't disturb the beacon. They recorded everything, left markers, and made sure the data was secure. After 3 days, the Odyssey began its return trip to Earth. Alara sat by the observation window, the stars reflected in her eyes. "We found life," she whispered. "We're not alone." Earth was still a year away, but Alara didn't mind. She had stories to tell, proof to share, and a whole new universe waiting to be explored. Chapter 8. Cedar Hollow. Again, when the Odyssey finally returned, the world erupted with joy. Parades, news headlines, awards. Alara, once a dreamer from a small town, became a global hero. But her first stop wasn't the White House or the United Nations. It was Cedar Hollow. She stood in her parents' bookstore, smiling at the sign still labeled Alara's Launchpad. Kids gathered around her, asking questions with shining eyes. "Do you think I could go to space someday?" one little girl asked. Alara knelt down, smiled, and said, "If you dream big enough, the stars will always find a way." Chapter 9. The mystery deepens. Back on Earth, the Europa mission data was handed over to international scientists. Alara became the face of a new era, space exploration that wasn't just about planets, but about life beyond Earth. But not all questions had been answered. What exactly was the crystal beacon? Was it built by intelligent life, or formed by nature under impossible conditions? And the shadow they had seen in Europa's ocean, was it still there? One night, as Alara sat on the rooftop of her childhood home in Cedar Hollow, she couldn't sleep. She looked up, as she always had. A breeze rustled the trees. Miko's message pinged her tablet. "You thinking what I'm thinking?" Alara smiled. "Yep, we have to go back." Chapter 10. The second mission. Within 2 years, a new program was born, the Horizon Initiative, a joint global effort to study extraterrestrial life. Alara was chosen to lead the follow-up mission to Europa. This time, they had better tech, stronger probes, and a full understanding of what they might face. The second ship, Horizon, was twice as fast as Odyssey. It hummed with power, a living cathedral of science and dreams. Among the new crew were Miko, now head of robotics, Dr. Lena Syed, a xenobiologist from Cairo, and Javier Ortega, a daring pilot who had once landed a shuttle on an asteroid for fun. As Horizon slipped beyond the moon, Alara felt it again, that deep, wordless wonder. "We're part of something bigger," she whispered. Chapter 11. The Message. 3 months into the journey, strange data began to stream into the ship's comms system, the same signal from Europa's beacon. But this time, it had changed. Instead of a simple pulse, it carried more complexity. Intervals, pauses, repetitions, as if the signal was evolving. "We may be witnessing intelligence at work," Lena said, her voice shaking with awe. "It's trying to speak." The crew began decoding the signal using AI and ancient language models. A single symbol repeated again and again, a spiral, the shape of galaxies, of hurricanes, of time. Alara stared at it for hours. "They want us to see the pattern," she said. Chapter 12. Europa Revisited. When Horizon arrived at Europa, the beacon's glow was visible from orbit. Alara led a descent mission back to the cavern. This time, they brought a small AI rover, named Wisp, designed by Miko to navigate delicate terrain and record every second. The beacon was still there, but now it pulsed in rhythm, like a heart. Wisp approached. The pulses changed frequency. Then, for the first time, the ice cracked. Not violently, but gently, like a flower blooming. From beneath the cavern floor, something emerged. A creature. Transparent, like jelly, with strands of glowing light across its body. It hovered in the thin, icy mist, watching them. "It's beautiful," Javier whispered. The creature blinked. Once, twice, then vanished into the icy depths. Chapter 13. First Contact. The crew returned to Horizon, breathless and buzzing. "We just met another life form," Miko said. It saw us. It acknowledged us. Back in orbit, the signal changed again. This time, it wasn't a pulse. It was a tone. A low, harmonious sound. Like a song. Lena analyzed it against every known database. It's music, she said. A call across the cosmos. Alara sat in the ship's observation bay, looking down at Europa. She hummed the melody softly, feeling a connection she couldn't explain. What if this is how they communicate? She wondered aloud. Not words. Not math. But music. Chapter 14. The Legacy. The crew returned to Earth with data, samples, and footage that stunned the world. Governments, scientists, even schoolchildren began studying the signal. Musicians composed symphonies based on it. Poets called it the Song of the Stars. Ilara's second mission cemented her place in history, not just as an explorer, but as humanity's first ambassador to another world. She received medals, honors, and endless interview requests. But the thing she cherished most was a small note left by a child on the steps of the space agency. Dear Ilara, when I grow up, I want to find more songs in space, too. Chapter 15. The Next Generation. Years later, Ilara became the director of the Lunar Science Station. She trained young astronauts, built telescopes that could hear deep space songs, and led programs to educate children in Cedar Hollow and beyond. Miko launched. Chapter 16. The Universal Symphony. The third Europa mission was led not by Ilara, but by one of her former students, a bright, thoughtful young astronaut named Amani Reyes. Ilara watched from the lunar station's command center as Unity, a sleek silver ship, arrived at the icy moon. On board were musicians, scientists, and linguists from around the world. The end.